Okay, my beautiful friends, another day and another historic high for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Now, this guy sitting right here knows for a fact that not one of you who follows this blog is surprised, shocked, aghast, or anything like that. And let me explain this to you. We're not done. We are not done. There is nothing, zero, standing in the way of this market continuing to hit record highs, more than likely right into next week. Now let's talk about some economic news that we got today. The ISM Manufacturing Index plunged. The entire manufacturing sector deeper in contraction. But again, according to Steve Leisman, did you see Steve Leisman today touting the economy on CNBC? We all love Steve Leisman. Okay. According to Steve Leisman, according to the Federal Reserve, according to President Donald Trump, our economy is booming, and they are touting this. The president too. Look at his Twitter feed. This fantastic jobs number that the stock market just went up 300 points. Look, the stock market, if this were real, if this jobs number were real and it was that good of economic news, stocks would have peeled off 300 plus points. Stocks rallied today, well, for two reasons. Number one, when we got this fake number thrown at us, stock futures took off. They went crazy because the market knows it's fake. And the Federal Reserve will continue to pump hundreds upon hundreds of billions of dollars into this market, into the debt market, into the repo market, to keep everything propped up. If again, it's just so simple to understand. The stock market no longer goes higher on good economic news. Whenever you see that, stocks going up, like today, we got bad economic news, which is being fist-fed to you by all of the mainstream financial channels as something really great. Now, I know all of you really do trust the mainstream financial channels, and I'm surprised that the president isn't praising them, because they're following his lead and the Federal Reserve's lead, explaining that everything is as good as it can possibly be. But again, it's just a charade. Now, the other reason why stocks gained today like this, did you watch crude oil? Crude oil took off. Last time I looked, it was over 3% higher today alone. This guy has explained to you since how long now that as crude oil goes, so goes the market. Now, let's just talk about, again, this correlation that I always outline for you. Crude oil up over 3%. I don't know what it finished at. You know what? Let me look for you right here, just so we can have some fun. Crude oil finished 3.49% higher. No surprise why stocks went up. The entire energy sector got a nice boost off of that. The entire financial sector got a nice boost off of that. Pulls the whole market with it. All right. Crude oil, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex, will be propped up. No matter what they have to do, it will be propped up. And that will pull stocks up with it. So look, in this environment where we have absolute fake data being shoved down the general population's throat, but the market knows it's fake. Look, I'm a market participant to the highest order. You all know that. When I see this, I realize what I'm seeing, and most of you, especially you traders out here, know exactly what I'm talking about. Look, we could sit and expose all this nonsense, but let's be honest. Let's be honest, traders. Today was a dream come true for traders like myself. And President Trump did tweet this morning, S&P 500, NASDAQ, record highs, enjoy yourself. That's exactly what he said. Those were his words. And thank you, President Trump. I did enjoy myself. In fact, I was on eBay buying myself things today, all kinds of stuff. Thank you, President Trump, for the fake market, for pushing the fake narrative, for backing up the Federal Reserve, for allowing the Federal Reserve to get stronger than they have ever been. You, Lagarde, Draghi, the best friends a central bank could ever have. And you're playing right into it, right in everyone's face, and they don't even see it. It's an incredible thing for the most part. But look, again, I've got to give credit where credit's due. President Trump, the Federal Reserve, driving this market, the fake data, the government bought and paid for, Federal Reserve, private entities, both of these things, they will continue to drive stocks higher. And people like myself, my lions, corporate America will reap insane profits off of this whole game until this whole thing ends. But even then, when the market rolls over, me, my lions, the Wall Street banks, the hedge funds, we're going to get even richer then too. There's no doubt about it. That's the way it is. This is the game. But for now, risk on, people. Risk on like I cannot explain to you anymore. I think I've pretty much called this market more accurately than anyone you can possibly name over the past several months. Actually, since the election of Donald Trump, when I said stocks would vault higher, I was one of the first guys on the planet to come out and publicly state that no, stocks were not going to crash when he got elected. I said stocks were going to vault higher. Right on Greg Hunter's show. It's on public record. So yeah. Anyway, expect this to continue. Like I've been explaining to you, the economy will continue to free fall. The lies are going to get bigger and bigger. The propaganda will get even more hard to believe, but people are going to buy it. They're going to, like there's no inflation. You know that. Prices are not rising, and the size of the products, they're not shrinking either. Yeah, everything is just as good as it can possibly be. You know that. But again, all of this is playing right into the corporate agenda, right into the agenda of the central banks, right into the agenda of the military-industrial complex. They honestly got people trapped into believing that stocks can only go up. And at one point when this reverses, and it's going to be a hard reversal because it always is, the masses are going to be caught on the wrong side as usual. This is nothing new. The Federal Reserve, the government, two private entities that are not on your side, they're only on the side of corporate America, and the banks, especially the core of the military-industrial complex, will legally steal most of the wealth that has been put into people's investment accounts, into their 401ks as this melts down. And me personally, and I'm telling you straight out, I will also be on the right side of that trade along with most of my lions here. I know you like me and you like my lions, more than likely. If you're probably one of them. Do you like us enough to make us richer than we already are? Well, if you do, then again, follow the agenda, listen to the President, the Federal Reserve, Steve Leisman, great as it gets, keep pouring that cash into these accounts. And that's exactly what you should be doing at this point. But understand, there is going to be a moment of reckoning. And that moment of reckoning is going to rip your face off if you're on the wrong side of this trade. I can promise you that, as the grand theft on an unimaginable scale occurs. But for now, we ride the wave, people. Mark my words. And every time I say, I've been explaining to people for, months and months that new record highs were coming. Greg, you're wrong. You are so wrong. You're leading people astray. The market's going down. Yet, stocks just keep going up. Maybe these people should listen to what I'm trying to say because I want to help them. I want to help everyone. I want us all to win. Do you think I get up early in the morning pre-market for my own health? I do it for you. Do I have to do this? No, I don't have to do it. I do it for you because I feel like I should pay it forward. I feel like I'm doing a service out here for all of you, enlightening you as to what's going on. This is not for me. I could quit tomorrow and be a lot better off than I am now. But I think a lot of you appreciate my work. And I love all of you. That's the truth. I want to be here. I don't have to be here. This is a choice I make. I want to make a difference in the world. I want every single one of us to make a difference in the world. Don't be selfish and think about yourself all the time. We got to start thinking about others. We have to come together, especially in this environment when every single thing is going against us. The propaganda, the fake news, the lies of epic proportions, the pushing up of this market, the fakery. It's incredible. It really is. But again, this is the gift that keeps on giving, and it will give you more if you allow it to. But again, that does not mean you should not be looking at other avenues here. You know what I'm talking about, people. Betting against this, becoming your own central bank, hedging yourself, because this risk-on environment at one point is going to become risk-off. And I mean risk-off so hard that you have no idea. Again, what's going on here? We have a Federal Reserve inflating the debt bubble to the tune of hundreds upon hundreds of $billions a day. You think this has something to do with why stocks are at all, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ just hit a new all-time record high, or has nothing to do with it? You think President Trump is right, that it's just a booming economy, which he's still. The president has not yet once uttered a single word about full-blown QE right now. Not one word. Zero. That alone should explain something to you. He cannot allow you to know what is going on here. He is empowering the Fed by staying silent, by allowing them to issue more debt. Understand. I know you get it if you follow this blog. The more debt a central bank issues, the stronger they become, the more slaves they create. We could end the Fed today. The president could end the Fed. We don't need a grant. I know there is some delusional, and I mean off the Richter scale, delusional YouTube channels out here that are pushing the narrative that the president is playing a game with the Fed so he can corner them, so they're pushing, so they can inflate the debt, and then all of a sudden we're going to cancel it all. Really? The dollar is a unit of debt. What would happen to those dollars that are in your pocket if all of a sudden the debt was forgiven or whatever it might be? Your purchasing power would go to zero. Again, they got you. You don't think that these central banks around the world, run by the same entities, have every angle covered, and they got every one who is sitting from the White House on down in our government bought and paid for? This is why we don't hear anything about it. This is why we hear all the rhetoric against cryptocurrencies, gold and silver as well. Believe me, they don't want you holding gold or silver too. They don't want you in gold. They don't want you in silver. They don't want you in any other asset than the dollar. You understand where I'm going with this? You see it? You know how anti-cryptocurrency President Trump is. Do you think that's by coincidence? Is he telling you to buy gold? Is he telling you to buy silver? No. He wants to continue to inflate the debt bubble and fulfill the end game plan of world central banks to flood the world with debt, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort. We could end the Fed today if we took away their power to issue debt. That is their Achilles heel. No one will tell you that. Ask one of the delusional YouTube channels if they think that maybe taking away the Federal Reserve's power to issue debt is more reality than some grand miraculous plan that's just about to unfold any day. I can make fun of these people like you can't believe, but they have some pretty significant followers out there who, again, this is something we witnessed through history. They just follow along like the sheep that they are. They cannot think for themselves. It's absolutely impossible. But again, that is the way that is. So again, look, people, it's Friday. I will see you over the weekend at one point to do my markets a look ahead segment. Let me assimilate more of this data. I will get it out more than likely on Sunday. This guy is going to leave you off with what I always leave you off with, people. Adopt what I am about to say. Incorporate this into your lives. Make it the core of who you are. And I promise you, it will not just benefit you, it'll benefit the world. Like I said earlier, I want to make a difference in the world. And I want you to make a difference in the world. It's got to start somewhere. It might as well start with us. Are you ready? Love each other. Care about each other. And be charitable. With that said, I'll see you over the weekend.